make that happen for her. Um, First of all, again, objective is sort of passe in the resume world. What you want out of your life and your career is certainly important, and it'll be important to them at some point. They'll ask you about it, but not on the resume. This is a marketing document designed to link you with the job. So the first thing I would have done is remove the objective, and then I would have developed, this is how I teach my clients, develop some bullets right at the front that really link you with the job. Now obviously these have to be truthful, but if you actually have done front to back publication, if you have done writing for websites and blogs and e-zines, if you have done some professional writing for educated users on complex subjects, great, you should match these. Now you'll see in a minute that actually this third bullet even I should have changed, but like a lot of recruiters, I read the resume first. So again, if you are spending a lot of time targeting cover letters and not rewriting resumes, you might be surprised to find that literally only about 50% of the time will your cover letter ever get read, and typically not first. Typically they'll read your resume first. They want to know that you're at least in the ballpark before they waste a lot of time reading, because cover letters typically are a lot of reading. Education is second here on her resume. Now, she's not a recent college graduate, so in the HR world, they would tell you that that education should have gone at the bottom. Here, she actually puts it on top for a good reason, because she's been to a school of journalism. She's got an English degree originally, but she also has applied arts magazine writing degree from a school of journalism. So probably important for her to keep this at the top, because it really matches her with the job. She's not a wannabe writer, she's an actual writer, and she's trained in it as well. My biggest problem with her resume, besides the bullets in the top, is that she's got close to, as you can see, she's been doing writing of this kind since June 2001, and she's got a resume that's a whole page and a quarter long. So it's she just didn't take enough space to really make the connection between her experience and what they're looking for. For instance, here in her first job, she's an actual freelance journalist. She's doing exactly what they want her to do, but she has a whole 2.25 lines of text here. She could have easily built this out to be, a paragraph long, and put in things like what kinds of articles, how long, what kinds of deadlines did she work under, were they team or were they independent. Lots of more data here would have helped her to make the connection easier for the employer. The rest of this, probably the same story, but again, I think when somebody looks at your resume, they're looking at the last 2 or 3 jobs, and so typically, if you haven't made your case, especially with the last one, you're not going to get a chance to make your case. So if your last job matches, the first job on your resume matches what they're after, you've just got to get enough data in there so that they're compelled to pick up the phone and ask you some questions. If you're only writing a line and a half, 2 lines and a half, and you think that's good because then it's short, well, then you're missing the boat. Resume length really isn't the issue, by the way. A page and a quarter of the wrong content won't get you in the job at all. But to tell you the truth, 4 or 5 pages of the right content often will get read and will be overwhelming proof that they should bring you in for an interview. So in the direct marketing world, which is one of the places I've done a lot of studying, long copy sells as long as it's the right copy. You can't sell the wrong thing to the wrong person, no matter how much or how little you write. But if you've got the right audience and you're the right product or service for them, the right person for them for their job, the more content actually is, the better. So again, more detail, bullets at the top that match the job, and then again, use some more space. Sell them better in what you do. Now let's look at Jennifer's cover letter, and this is where it really gets interesting. So here's Jennifer's standard cover letter. It's like a lot of cover letters. It's mostly paragraphs. She's kept them fairly short here. In the first one, though, you get a sense, and this is the first time I got a sense looking at her cover letter. She's submitting for that job, but then right here it says, I have experience writing about mental health issues. Now, if you look back at her resume, nowhere in that resume is that connection really made, especially not in the first job, and especially not at the top of the resume. So one of the 3 most important issues, I think, for this manager, somebody to step in and write on the topics they're writing on, she's actually got experience at it, but she didn't put it in here. It's at the top of her cover letter in part, and then you can see way down here in the 4th paragraph, the next to the bottom, the one next to the bottom, she actually lists some examples. I've written part of an annual report. on mental health, and I covered mental health related issues for the 2 newspapers I wrote for. So again, or for one of the newspapers I wrote for. So again, she's got the experience, but literally, even though she's a journalist, she buried the lead down here. This was probably one of the most important things she could have told them, and she really didn't get it into their resume. The rest of this is all pretty standard cover letter stuff. Again, not bad. It's not really a match. It's not really necessary. There's some stuff in here, especially in this paragraph, about why she does what she does and why she writes for those clients, and that's important. It's good to get some motivation and some personal stuff into your cover letter, but again, not at the cost of connecting yourself immediately with the job. So if I was to rewrite the cover letter, here's what I would do. You can see that I'm okay with linking yourself to the actual position in case they have more than one open, but then I would go right for the jugular. What are the ways that I match your top 3 criteria? And here's the way I typically tell clients to do it, and that is bullets. Write it out there, get a little data in here to prove it, especially if the data connects here with things further in your background. Then they'll know what to look for. This is a keyword that helps them to look into your resume and see where that experience is. Again, a reason why I do things is pretty good, and I kept that in there. But again, this letter is a little bit shorter. It's much easier to read, and in a very short period of time, the person who scans your resume, and most of them will scan, can immediately see that for their 3 most important criteria, you match. And this kind of resume and cover letter should prompt a phone call from somebody. So hopefully you can see from this what the objective is. Take a job ad, parse it out first. Take your time, step back, look at the job ad, make sure you understand exactly what they're asking for. If it's not for you, then again, move on. There's no sense in applying for things that don't make sense for you. But if it does match, then do your best to customize as much of the resume and the cover letter as you can to make it a very easy decision for somebody to pick up the phone and call you. Again, don't expect people will read between the lines. Don't expect that people will do your work for you. You really have to make yourself a sort of a slap in the face, again, obvious choice for that job. Hey, good luck. Hope this is helpful for you. Don't forget to get the documents, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.